Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's about 9:30 on September 10th, and another day with a decent amount of clouds around, but a little bit less humidity. We also had some showers and thunderstorms. Also, so some areas on Long Island got some rain, so we're gonna look at that as well. Let's go to the current radar right now, and you'll see that there are some showers and thunderstorms over central New Jersey, and there's another one over northern Queens. They seem to be staying to the west for now, and panning out. See all those scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Northeast. A few in the Midwest. It's like here's a severe one right here, but other than that, not too much action going on. Let's go to the radar rewind here. We'll go to the vent to sky, rewind that radar. I'll show you what was going on today because we did actually get some rain today. Finally, we got some rain. So it's 10 o'clock. You can see a bunch of showers just kind of popped up off the North Shore there. You can see there's one over there in New York City. And then some of that rain got over into central Nassau. Here we're at 12. And there was some pretty strong, and I think there might have been a couple of warnings for some of those thunderstorms in Connecticut. For us, it was just rain. But we did get some rain, not a whole lot, but it's something. That was the first batch. And then a second batch popped up a little more toward 6 o'clock here. You'll see here there were a couple of other showers here. One popped up over, it looks like Islip. Another one popped up over Valley Stream. And that one kind of migrated north over Hempstead, and there are a few over here in central Suffolk. So there was a couple of showers out there that give us some rain. Looks like one cell actually was kind of sitting over Quorum for a little bit there, and then another one formed. So there were a couple of showers out tonight. And you notice that the arrows, the wind is coming from the east, so that actually is making a difference. They're making it slightly, just slightly less humid. So let's go over our statistics for today. And we'll go to the climate statistics for today. Show you what we got here. So Islip finally got some rainfall today. Let's see what they got. About 0.23, just a quarter of an inch. But at least it's something. It was still running about 8 degrees above normal for the day to get up to 82. And the low is only 71. That's quite a bit above normal. Let's look at Central Park. I think they got a little more rain in Central Park. Central Park not running is above normal. They had more clouds and more rain. Only 2 degrees above normal for the day. And they got 0.72 inches of rain at Central Park. So you can get an idea of some areas that did get some rain. And we're going to go to the weather and hazards map right now. Take a look at that right now. So let's go to our current conditions outside. You can see temperatures generally in the low to mid 70s. So it's a little less humid. The dew point 70 versus 76 to 77. It feels somewhat better. It's not great, but it definitely feels better than it has been. 72 at Shirley, so you can see that it's definitely better than it has been. So let's take a look at our highs first. We'll just look at our highs here. Again, low 80s. Generally speaking, upper 70s, low 80s across the area. But I want to look at precipitation. Let's go and take a look at our 24-hour precipitation. We'll get some more rainfall amounts when we go to the Wonder Map as well. You'll see that there are some rainfalls. Not a lot of rain, generally a quarter of an inch or less across Suffolk County. So it's not a lot of rain. But some areas of the North Shore, there's 1.38 there. Some areas of the North Shore wound up getting a little more because they got into some of the heavier stuff. 0.60 at East Northport. And then in my area here, 0.39 in Mineola. So we got some parts of the North Shore here in Nassau got a half an inch. South Shore didn't get much. Going into the city here, you'll see they got more. They got over an inch. Some areas of the city got over an inch of rain. And then also Connecticut, also a lot of areas of Connecticut got over an inch. Norwalk and Bridgeport got hit pretty hard there, over 2 inches, 2.76 over there. So they got hit pretty hard with some rain. And looking at Jersey here, this area keeps getting hit with rain, and they got hit with more rain, another 2 inches there along the river there, Delaware River. And then let's go looking at Jersey. Yeah, not much on the Jersey Shore as far as rainfall goes. So we'll go to the Wonder Map next. And show you, get some more rainfall numbers here from this. So you can see, again, depending on where you were, you got more, depending on where the rain fell. South Shore, all right, southwestern parts of Nassau County got almost 3/4 of an inch. When you go east, it's hardly anything. But then some areas like around Islip, over half an inch. And then also, look at this, the Hauppauge area. We got some reports of 3/4 of an inch there. So some areas got some rain here. Quorum got 3/4 of an inch too. Port Jefferson, some areas are reporting over an inch around there. Miller Place, Sound Beach, 1.46. So yeah, they got some. I don't believe that 5.28 at Wildwood, but definitely over an inch probably in Baiting Hollow, in that area. And looks like 0.56 here around Lake Panaboca. So the Pine Barrens got some rain, at least the northern part of them did. Let's see. Mandeville also got a half an inch. So it looks like some areas did wind up getting some rainfall last night, which is very good. But West Hampton's fairly dry. But at least some areas did wind up getting some rain, and that, that's important. So we get some rain. How about Deer Park? All right, maybe around a quarter of an inch there. So at least it's something. We finally get some rain, because we did definitely need it. We haven't had any all month long. So let's go back to the Weather Service webpage here, and let's see. We have latest rainfall reports. So this is there. There aren't a whole lot of them here, as you see. So I'm not even gonna look at that. But let's go to the next thing. Next thing we'll talk about here, obviously, is the tropics, and we're going to talk about Lee here. So Hurricane Lee is already strengthening. It's back up to 120 miles an hour. So let's go to the latest public advisory on Hurricane Lee. Air Force Reserve hurricane hunters find Lee is re-strengthening. Hazardous beach conditions expected to spread throughout the western Atlantic through the week. So as of 5 p.m., its location is 22.1 north, 61.7 west, about 285 miles north-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands. Maximum sustained winds are 120 miles an hour. It's moving west-northwest at 8 miles an hour. You notice it's slowing down. Minimum central pressure is 954 millibars. That's 28.17 inches. So it says it's going to be slowing down. A slower west-northwest motion is expected during the next few days. On the forecast track, Lee is expected to pass well north of the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico during the next day or two. So Lee is a Category 3 hurricane, and additional strengthening is possible, is forecast. So it's most likely going to become a Category 4 again, and maybe even a 5. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 45 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 175 miles from the center. So let's take a look at the cone here, and you'll see here's the cone. You see it's making that right turn. Bermuda is in it, but it only goes up to here. All right, it only goes up to here. So this is where it's going to be at 2 p.m. on Friday. All right, on the cone right here. All right, let's take a look at what Lee looks like on the satellite. So here is Lee on the satellite, definitely looking healthier again. You can see that. Definitely looking healthier. Look at how it's tightening up. So you can see the convection starting to take off once again. And that's definitely a sign that is definitely in the re-strengthening process for sure. We'll just briefly go over Margot here. Margot, obviously, not a threat to land, but it is a strong tropical storm and could become a hurricane very shortly. So let's take up the latest public advisory on that. Margot is stronger and better organized. As of 5 p.m., its location is 23.9 north, 40 point west, about 1,175 miles west-northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Maximum sustained winds are 65 miles an hour, so it's only got like a little less than 10 miles an hour to go, and it's going to be a hurricane, and I think it's going to make it there. Moving north at 9 miles an hour, minimum central pressure 996 millibars, 29.42 inches. So let's go and take a look at you see it's going to stay out in the ocean pretty much, so it's not going to threaten anyone, but I do want to look at, we'll go now and look at Margot on the satellite as well. So here's Margot, and you see here, definitely looking better organized. Definitely looking better organized for sure. And that's just the Atlantic. Then we have the Pacific too. We'll just briefly go over Jova here. Jova is extratropical now, post-tropical, whatever, so we're not going to really talk about that. But let's go and look at some more satellite imagery here of, all right, we'll go and I guess we'll go to the weather map first of all. So here's the weather map. You see here's your stalled front right here. This is gonna slowly push east, and we're finally going to get an end to this crap that we've been dealing with. Let's go to the Storm Prediction Center here and look at where there's severe weather. Just in that Oklahoma area, let's go to the 2 day 2, and I don't see much for day 2 either. Let's go to day 3. So I think it's going to be pretty quiet as far as the severe weather goes. So let's go to the models now, and we'll take a look and show you what's going to be happening here with the overall pattern, as well as what's going to happen with Lee. So we're going to first start with the GFS, the 18Z run of the GFS, and we will first start looking at the upper air, 250 millibar, the jet stream. All right, so you can see how this all plays out. So you see this trough here that's slowly coming in. You see it coming in right here. Here we go, Wednesday. All right, so here's Lee right here. All right, so you have a ridge here, and Lee's going to get pushed northward. All right, here we are Thursday. All right, but you see Lee here. Look at what the GFS is doing. It's now this GFS is pulling it in to Boston. So this is different. Let me see if the 12Z run is doing that. 12Z run is not quite doing that, but it's sharpening up that trough, and that's a concern that the URL was showing, that it could actually back west on Saturday toward Boston perhaps, and then get pulled up over there, right? So and then look, there's another system here that we would have to watch out. Imagine 2 systems in a row here. That's a little concerning. Of course, that might not show up on the 12Z run, does it? It does. So it does, but this is the 18Z run of the GFS. So definitely concerns continue here for the tropics. Let's go to the European now. So I'll compare with the European now, because the 0Z European was taking it out. So let's see what happens here. Oh, yep, you see it there, but you see that little push westward right there. All right, you see that little push westward. That's what we have to be concerned about. A sandy track is not quite that likely at this point, but it could be something that could impact New England pretty badly, according to these, at least according to this guidance right now. But of course, we're still very, very far out. So, and we will go ahead and look at the imagery after I finish this upper level update. We will go and look at the other satellite imagery and spaghetti models that we have. But I want to kind of first start with this. So let's go to the GFS here on the heights at 500, and you'll see what happens here. There's a ridge here that the strength of this ridge, if this ridge is stronger, it could push it back in at Cape Cod, perhaps, and into making a landfall in Boston. I don't remember the last time a hurricane made landfall in Boston, but I can't even remember that. All right, but you see there, it kind of backs it in there a little bit. That's the GFS. And if we go to the 12Z run here, it's just a little weaker with that high. So we're still far out. We're still talking almost a week away. Then we have a trough in the east that continues, but you notice where the trough is. It's not in the spot that we want it in. And so the problem is it could help pull another storm in. Look at that. It's developing another storm and having it take the exact same track. Imagine that. 2 hurricanes in a row. Would be something to see. But you see there, that is, and again, it all has to do with that ridge there, all right? So let's now go look at the European. 12's the European. So it's funny how the models have kind of switched now, you know? But this is what happens when you're talking long range. So again, this is the European, and you can see it there. European still wants to have it make the landfall around Nova Scotia, all right? So now we will go to the storms, and we will go to the storms, and we'll look at Lee again here on the satellite. You can see definitely very healthy here on this satellite. And let's go look at the spaghetti models here. All right, these are the spaghetti models, but you see there's one that pulls it to the west there. All right, most of them still take it this way. All right, it still seems to be the trend that it's going to go this way, you know, toward Nova Scotia, but. You know, right now it's just too soon. And here we go with the GEFS, and now you see more of a spread. That some of the ensembles, actually, one of them actually takes it on a track like Sandy did. So, just one though. The majority of them take it the other way. All right, that is the GFS. This is the EPS ensembles. But you see, some of them do take it west. All right. And again, this is a lot of the models take it to Category 4 as well. I think it's going to regain Category 4 status given the warm waters that it's got to work with. All right, so that's Lee. And we can also look at Margot briefly here. Not really that impressive. We'll just stick with Lee at this point. But anyway, let's go back to the models here. We'll go to the surface, and we will go start with eastern U.S. So we're going to look at the 18Z GFS again and see what this does. So here we go. You'll see there's that front lingering in the region, so we still have the chance for showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday's a little drier. Wednesday, we actually have the cold front come through. Thursday, cold front comes through. Kind of gets stuck well offshore. But you see what happens. We have the high build in, but then this high kind of goes, it's doing the same thing the Euro did, pushing the high around it. Sometimes these storms create their own weather, and then having it curve, jog to the west a little bit. And if it took this jog, I still don't think this would be a hurricane warning for Long Island. Maybe tropical storm warning for the Forks, but for sure, if you're in the Cape Cod or Boston area, Maine, the coast of Maine, this would be a devastating storm with a track like this. Okay. And then it does it again. Here we go again. Look at this. Another hurricane. Another one taking a track very similar. That's crazy to have two in a row, but hey, why not? This is what we're dealing with, the climate crisis. This one looks even worse than Lee. So let's go to the and it's not even named yet. So let's go to the European model now. So European is up next, and here's the European. And you see, European keeps it a little further away. All right, European is now the model scenario you want. So it's funny how the model's kind of switched around, but we see this happen in the long range from time to time, So let's go and look at a closer look at what this would mean. So we're going to go to the northeast view here and back to the GFS again, because this is the one that's the most interesting here at this point. All right, this is the storm. So this would be Lee right here. All right, every bit of hurricane, and this would go right over the Cape. All right, at this point. So see how it takes that jog west like that, and it would bring maybe some rain to the eastern part of Long Island, and then as it pulls on out. So that's what the GFS does, and like I said, it's really something that let's just see what the icon. I don't know if the icon goes far enough out. It doesn't go far enough out. All right. What about the Canadian? Canadian would work. Canadian keeps it offshore, but it's close. It's close enough that we have to keep watching this. And the uncertainty is definitely something that's, generally, something that's really, upsetting, obviously. So let's go to the Ventus sky. Do we have let me go to the Ventus sky. And we're going to actually visualize what Ventus sky does with this, because this gives us a good opportunity to take a look here at Lee. We will go and we'll put this in. So let's go to Friday. So this is Friday. Look at how close Lee is toward us on Friday here. All right, this is the GFS. All right, I should put this in wind gusts here. All right, so this is the GFS here, right? Real powerful. We're talking probably category 4, 3, top end 3, or maybe even a 4 at this point. All right, this is 11 o'clock Friday night. Let's move this to Saturday. You can see, look at how close that is. So here we are Saturday, and look at how close it is to Long Island. Actually, this setup, you might actually need a hurricane warning for the east end of Long Island. If you're further west, the better off you'll be. Further east, the worse you're going to be. And this would still cause a lot of problems for us with beach erosion. And here you go. If you're in the Cape, here you're going to have hurricane conditions along the Cape for sure. And you can see that Boston as well would be devastating for this area. And then it moves on as we get toward, here we go, hitting Nova Scotia next. So this, again, would be the GFS here that would cause this. And, again, really concerning here would be, again, the now rainfall, obviously. Well, we can do, you probably get a decent amount of rain from this. See, this only gives me 3 hours. It's only going to give me 3-hour rainfall. All right, so you can see 3-hour rainfall amounts. The heaviest rain would probably be over Suffolk County. But as far as the Cape goes, you're going to get inches and inches with the setup like this. All right, so again, this is the GFS here. It's, like I said, pretty concerning, to see this, obviously. So So anyway, we're still a ways out, but it definitely is. It's interesting how the model's kind of flipped around, and it could always trend more west. It could always trend more east. It's just too soon right now to know. That's the problem. That is the problem. So let's go take a look at the HRRR. We'll go a little more into the short range here, just to talk about. In fact, I'm going to put Ventu Sky back up here and just look at the thunderstorm threat for tomorrow here. So as we go in tomorrow, let's see how much cape we're going to have tomorrow. There's still some cape, but I don't think we'll see the the severity of the storms that we have seen. And the cape kind of diminishes by Tuesday. Wednesday, it's kind of far out to really say where the cape's going to be. There is some, but there's less of a likelihood of severe weather tomorrow, I think. So that's why I put the Ventu Sky up there. So let's look at the HRRR now, and you'll see there'll be some showers and thunderstorms tonight, possible. And then tomorrow we could have some more pop up during the afternoon. Again, with that low around, it's gonna keep things a little on. It's gonna have a little. It's gonna be similar to today, I think, the weather. And then Tuesday we'll have less in the way of that activity. All right. Looking at dew points, you'll see that easterly wind, so that kind of keeps the dew points a little bit lower. You see that dew points are around 70 versus mid 70s, and yeah, it feels a lot better, believe it or not. And then Tuesday, the dew points actually start going down even more because the winds shift to the west. This is as much as we got on the HRRR as far as that goes. But we can't show you what it does with the temperatures tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow, similar temperatures to today probably. Here's the GFS. All right, GFS is warmer because the GFS has more sun and less precipitation around, and that could always happen too. We could have less precipitation. Let me go look at the dew points again. So, you see, dew points not as bad. And then as we get to Tuesday, the dew points really start going down. And Wednesday, that's when the actual cold front comes through, and that's when we're going to see the dew points really drop into the 40s. All right, and then here, of course, there's that close pass again with Lee going right over, has the eye literally almost right over the Cape or just a little bit offshore of it. Maybe get a little humidity behind the storm, which could happen again if it causes a stall front to happen. All right, and there's another storm right there. This one, that one's even scarier as far as I'm concerned. But we'll deal with one storm at a time, I guess. But anyway, let's go and look at another model for the precipitation for tomorrow, the NAM 18Z. So let's go to that as well. So here's the NAM, and there could be a scattered shower thunderstorm popping up anywhere, and maybe they'll be strong, but the support isn't there for them to be as severe. But then again, just pay attention. They could be. It's possible. There is still some cape there, although it's not as much. Any thunderstorm, especially these days, could have the potential to be strong. But if we do look at the amount of rainfall we'll get, if I want to go back to the HRRR here, you'll see we should get some more rain from these storms. So total accumulated precip, some areas could see as much as 2 inches of rain. Other areas might only get a half an inch, but hopefully we'll see another day of widespread shower activity tomorrow. I really hope we do, because we certainly do need it. Let's go look at the skies. You see the GFS is not as robust. You can see that rainfall. It has it mostly inland again. All right. So let's go look at the skies. All right, GFS first. Obviously, GFS is showing actually a decent amount of sun tomorrow, oddly enough. So we have a disagreement here on some of the models. There might be a decent amount of sun. There might not be, but I think it would definitely, with the instability, fuel some showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday, starting off with sun, finishing with clouds. Wednesday, we'll probably have clouds with the front, and then we clear it out Thursday. But you can see this front kind of gets stuck, and then we have to see what happens here. This is the cloud shield from Lee showing now. I'm just want to see 12Z run and the 18Z run are pretty similar with that. But again, this is the cloud shield from Lee that would develop over our area if it does take that. And this is definitely a concern that we could see that happen if it goes further west. But of course, this is a low resolution. I remind people, this is a low resolution model. All right, so it's not really going to show the finer details of cloud cover. That's why I usually use the RGEM instead. So we'll go to that. And you'll see here's the RGEM for tomorrow, showing plenty more in the way of clouds. Tuesday, maybe less clouds on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have the front coming through, so we'll have some clouds from that, and then by Thursday we should clear things out again. I'm just curious to see what the Canadian does with cloud cover. We only have 2 miles that go out that far with cloud cover. I just want to see how it visualizes Lee. So this is the Canadian. You can see here. Could be some pretty clouds from that. You can see there it is. There's the Canadian, but it takes it out away. All right, so you can see how it takes it away. This is a different model, obviously. So let's again. It's hard, hard that far out to really say where clouds are going to be, let alone where the storm is going to be. It's very hard. So let's go to the windy.com, I guess. All right. Yeah, windy only takes us out till Friday. This is the European. All right, so we're going to take a look at the only thing that the model doesn't show us is the wave. So we'd have to go to the. I'd have to go back to tropical tidbits. I guess I could do that instead of into sky. You can see these are the waves here that we would have, and this is with the further east track. All right, it only goes out this far. All right, so and the European is you can see here we go to wind gusts here. You can see the storm's still pretty far away. Look at how massive it is, though. This is Friday 9 p.m. and we got this massive storm over here. So it's still only over here. The European is slower. You notice that the European is a little slower and different. So it's still a lot. It's just a tremendous amount of uncertainty with the storm system, and it's hard. I can't say that. Like I said, the way I feel about it is I think if you're anywhere between Delaware and the Canadian Maritimes, you need to watch this thing, all right? Because you just don't know exactly where it's going to wind up, and that's any little change, if there's a trend that happens over time, that could develop into something much worse for us. So let's go look at the. Wait, yeah, I think we do have the wave height on here. So let's go to the wave height here and just show you the kind of waves this would generate again. It would be devastating, especially for the east winds going into, again, if this track would be devastating for the Cape. And, there's so many beautiful places along the Cape that are going to get completely destroyed and flooded with storm surges probably could be up to 20 feet in some areas. I mean, this would be absolutely devastating here. And then the next one comes. Just show you the next one, as if misery isn't enough and the storm surge is even bigger with that. So, yeah, so this is why we've got to be concerned. We're still a ways out, and I know it's frustrating not to know, but we're just too far. We're too far away to know exactly what's going to happen with this storm, unfortunately. So I think that's going to wrap up this weather update tonight. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.